a motion to resume the meeting at 6 p.m.
Support.
Oops.
Okay.
I'll make the motion to resume the meeting at 6 p.m.
Support.
All in favor for the?
Aye.
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 Any opposed? Now it's time for public comment. You have 3 minutes to speak. Anybody would like to speak? 5 minutes. I'm sorry. I don't know why I said 3. You know, I was watching Clay Township's meeting and they give 3, so I was.
The cold has gotten to us, pay no
It's-
attention.
You have 5 minutes to speak.
I apologize, Sandra Simmons, I have a little bit of a runny nose, so I might be gabbing a little bit along the way. Sandra Simmons, today marks the day of 1 year. On February 18th, 2024, at 8:39 p.m., your email, Mr. Gills, to me, in regards to the special assessment for the fire department. 1 year, I have been working on this as diligently as possible. My lack of experience and resources. At the last city council meeting, you stated, when I walked out of this building, you made your first public comment. You stated that Mrs. Simmons is misinterpreting population based on public access. Very fancy words, sir. I appreciate that, especially when I walked out of the door. Are you stating that I do not know what a public notice is? Apparently so. As I stated before, there was no public notice in the Voice newspaper, and when I received that public notice back from the city attorney, she sent me your agenda. So obviously you are stating that your agenda, is a public notice. I FOIA requested on July 5th of 2024 a copy of the public notice for July 5th meeting of 2023, locations in which the public notice was posted in the city, and how many public notices were posted or placed. Your FOIA request has been denied. This letter is to certify that the documents, public records that you are requesting does not exist for your city clerk. So my question this evening, if you could please clarify where the public notice was, if it wasn't in the Voice newspaper, and it wasn't posted here at City Hall or any other locations throughout the city of Algonac, where was it posted? Are you stating that it was just on the website, that is considered a public notice? Now I know, of course, won't until I sit down. If I sit down, will you answer this question for me and clarify what you are defining what a public notice is? So this can be resolved. Thank you very much. And try and stay warm and no runny noses.
Thank you.
Anyone else?
Good evening, Eileen Tesh. Just two things. Number one, I just learned last week that the school millage renewal is going to be on the ballot in May. And what concerns me is that after you decided to unanimously vote for the brownfield redevelopment on the Cordes property, giving them 24 years of our taxes and our millage, that according to the brownfield redevelopment, all of that money goes to Cordes Brothers for the next 24 years. Now, thankfully, the county commission has not made a decision yet. They have a new board, so I'm sure it's going to be on the agenda soon as to how they're going to proceed. Because as you heard Commissioner Rushing say, I'm not about to approve anything until we understand what the Brownfield Redevelopment Act really means and how much of these money that they're gonna get, because the county is going to be writing the checks. So my concern is that the people need to know that if they should vote on this school millage renewal, that money may be going to Cordes Brothers. So I think, I suggest that you get together and figure out how you're gonna notify the people of what could be the consequences of this millage coming up. The second thing is in response to Mrs. Simmons here. I was here a couple weeks ago and I specifically asked, where's Mr. Downey? he said, yeah, on the agenda, a couple months ago, he was gonna give a presentation to, I guess, clarify what you think the Open Meetings Act is and what specifically when it comes to fire and police millage. Well, I haven't seen him, he hasn't responded to Ms. Simmons, and I don't know what this, closed session for attorney-client privilege correspondence, if it has anything to do with that Open Meetings Act. But I suggest that we get this resolved. We haven't started any litigation yet, so perhaps we could all come to the table, figure this out. If we're gonna have another election, who's gonna pay for it, and how to move forward. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Moving on, city manager's report, Mrs. Gerstenberg.
Thank you, Mayor Gillis. An update on the Algonac Elementary Housing Project. The project did not receive funding in January, but they are planning to resubmit to MSHDA in April. The Algonac Activity Center, or school gym project, we're still waiting for a funding agreement from the state before a roof contract can be awarded. The water has been turned on, the heat is now on, so that's very exciting. The rest of the old furniture that was stored in the cafeteria has been removed. We have met with the piece-to-piece quilters to discuss, that they would like maybe a permanent sewing room in the building. We are also looking at a number of issues that need to be addressed before the building opens, including security cameras, key fob entrance system, tenant lease agreements, Wi-Fi, and roof repairs. Pool update, well, weather has not been very kind to us, so it figures that just as we start building a pool, we've got one of the worst winters we've had in a long time. So we are working on the pool furniture package right now, and construction will start again as soon as they possibly can. Algonac was awarded a second PAYSAR grant. We've been selected for a pavement surface and evaluation grant through the fiscal year 2025 local road rating program. The data is going to be collected by a vendor of SEMCOG's choosing. There will be no charge to Algonac for this data collection. And they will be starting mid-May in the area and hope to finish by the end of August. And that's all I have.
Any questions for Mrs. Gerstenberg?
Mayor Gillis, if I could.
Yes.
We've gotten a page grant, correct?
Yes.
Yes, we have. Yay. And how long ago was that?
Mrs. Gerstenberg?
I believe it's every 3 years
Every 3
they're willing to reevaluate.
Okay, thank you.
Anyone else? Hearing none, we'll move on to the consent agenda. The consent agenda consists of the regular city council minutes of February 4th, 2025, departmental reports of light enforcement, building, DPW, finance, fire department, water department. Under communications and notices, we have the boards and commissions roster, the Algonac Housing Commission minutes. Under miscellaneous business, we have the payment of the Eagle 2025 stormwater annual permit fee of $2,000. Can I have a motion, please?
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented.
Support.
Comments, questions, concerns? Hearing none, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Moving on to new business, item 11A is to adopt an amendment to chapter 44 utilities, article 2 water, division 1 generally by adding sections 28 fire hydrants. Attached is an ordinance amendment for the recommended by the fire department and directed by the city attorney for city council review. The ordinance prohibits anyone from opening any fire hydrant without a permit, requires the permit holder to arrange for payment of the water to be used, and requires that only a regulation fire department wrench be used to open the fire hydrant. Can I have a motion, please?
Make a motion to adopt an amendment to chapter 44 utilities, article 2 water, division 1 generally by adding section 28 fire hydrants.
Support.
Comments, questions, concerns? Hearing none, could I have a roll call, please?
Councilman Bendis.
Yes.
Councilman Carter.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Davey.
Yes.
Mayor Gillis.
Yes.
Councilwoman Harris.
Yes.
Councilwoman Meldrum.
Yes.
Councilman Scarpelli.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Item 11B is to adopt resolution 2025-02 and approve Michigan Recreation Passport Grant Program Development Project Grant for Lions Field Park Pathway. On March 19th, 2024, the City Council approve submission of a grant application for a pathway at Lions Field to the Michigan Recreation Passport Fund. The project will involve the construction of 8-foot wide walking path around the perimeter of the park. Algonac was awarded $150,000 towards this project on February 3rd, 2025. The total estimate project cost is $230,000, $150,000 grant, $80,000 city. Attached for city council is the development project agreement resolution 2025-02. Can I have a motion, please?
I'll make a motion to adopt resolution 2025-02 and approve Michigan Recreation Passport Grant Program Development Project Agreement for Lions Field Park Pathway and direct the city manager to sign the agreement on behalf of the city.
Support.
Comments, questions, concerns? I'm just excited that we got some more
Exactly.
free money. Thank you, Mrs. Gerstenberg.
Excellent.
And we have a nice walking path around the park. It will be great. I mean, when you think about the Lions Field with the new pool and a new pathway, we have been able to, with grants, put millions of dollars of amenities there and upgrades.
Well, I like, Mayor, if I may say, so many different groups have contributed to revitalizing that park, whether it be Woodside Church redoing the gazebo, whether it be Ron Schwartz giving us that sledding hill, whether it be me and you building that dog park, one group put the stuff on top of the sledding hill and another group put the
Henry's Club,
Henry's
sled
Club.
station.
and the
Algonac
bike
Lodge.
there.
Oh,
thing.
Joey Rivard.
Right, so many people and so many groups have contributed to that park to make it the great park it is. When I moved here 28 years ago, it was just land.
Yep.
That's it. So I'm so glad we call it Lions Field, but really it's become more of just Algonac social group, charitable park,
Yep.
you know, in a sense. And I'm glad to see so many other groups involved in that.
Glad to be a part of it too.
Exactly, exactly.
That was, the first project I really ever, one of the first projects I got involved with before I was on council was you and I with
Right.
that park.
Yep.
Right?
So, anybody else? Roll call, please.
Councilman Carter,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Davey,
Yes.
Mayor Gillis,
Yes.
Councilwoman Harris.
Yes.
Councilwoman Meldrum,
Yes.
Councilman Scarback,
Yes.
Councilman Douglas.
Yes, and if I could have just one more thing, and the city manager tore down that ugly fence.
Yes.
That kept people that, remember that old
Oh, yeah.
decrepit
Rusty,
fence?
dusty.
Rusty, it's like, oh my God, don't cut your finger in that, you're gonna need a tetanus shot.
Well,
So,
if I may, I remember, the city manager and I going for a bicycle ride. We were on this little bike tour thing, and I looked there and said, there's not a picnic table in that park.
right.
There was no place for anybody to sit down back then.
Did everybody notice that he's the one that said one more thing?
Yeah, this
Did
time it
did
was
we,
me.
did we get that? I just,
My
wasn't-
bad,
Wasn't me, man.
I'll behave after
That's
that.
council comments.
Well, now we'll move on to water plant software renewal. I bet she's not gonna be as much excited about that. Item 11C is to approve the water plant software renewal for $2,047.50. The city of Algonac uses GPS system to map the location of city infrastructure like water main valves, water shutoffs, sanitary sewer leads, storm sewer infrastructure, and fire hydrants. GPS is a satellite-based radio navigation system owned and operated by the United States government. GIS is the computer-based software tool that uses GPS to display information on maps. The water plant uses Trimble DA2 equipment with software from Sealer Geopatio. If I spelled that wrong, said that wrong, I do apologize, but the software contract may be renewed annually through MyDeal. MyDeal is an extended purchasing program which allows Michigan local units of government to use state contracts to buy goods and services. Local governments benefit directly from the reduced costs of goods and services and indirectly by eliminating the time needed to process bids. There are over 400 contracts available to MyDeal members. Can I have a motion, please?
I'll make a motion to approve water plant software renewal from Seller Gustafall, whose address is 5700 Aurelis Road, Lansing, Michigan, in the amount of $2,047.50, and direct the city manager to sign the quotation on behalf of the city.
Support.
Comments, questions, concerns?
I think the manager should call that company and find out how we pronounce the name, cause I don't know.
Yes.
Could you get Mr. Stewart on the phone for us, please?
That place.
Hearing none, could I have a roll call, please?
Mayor Pro Tem Davey,
Yes.
Mayor Gillis,
Yes.
Councilwoman Harris.
Yes.
Councilwoman Meldrum,
Yes.
Councilman Scarback,
Yes.
Councilman Bembas,
Yes.
Councilman Carter,
Yes.
motion carried.
Now up to probably one of my favorite motions of the year, because it just means so much to me that somebody did this, is to approve the Milford Jackson Testamentary Trust Account. In 1991, Algonac resident Milford Jackson established the Milford Jackson Testamentary Trust, which upon his death would pay Algonac an annual income. Fifth Third Bank manages the trust and annually provides a statement to the city of Algonac. The statement reports on two accounts, the Milford Jackson Testamentary Trust main account and the fixed, which holds fixed income and equity mutual funds, and the Milford Jackson Trust sub-account, which holds individual equity stocks. The income earned in the sub-account is regularly transferred over to the main account to be reinvested or distributed. All fees and expenses and distributions are paid from the main account. Each year, a waiver and consent form must be submitted to the state of Michigan probate court, acknowledging the city has received a copy of the annual income of fiduciary short form from the trust from Fifth Third Bank. This is the city's 31st year receiving this income. This year, the city will receive $24,000 from the trust. Can I have a motion, please?
I'll make, well, you guys would do, and I scrolled around it. when
I'll
you
make a
all
motion
stopped.
to approve
Thank
the
you.
Milford Jackson Testamentary Trust Account Summary and authorize the city manager to sign the waiver and consent form on behalf of the city.
Support.
Comments, questions, concerns? I would just like to say thank you, Mr. Jackson and his family.
Absolutely.
This ongoing gift that he gives us allows us to do some of those things like the Christmas tree.
Mhm.
You know, it's just different things that we can do for our citizens, because I know Mike and I, when I first started on council, that was something we kind of brought up, like, hey, we need to make sure this money goes back to the residents in
Absolutely.
some way, not
Potholes.
potholes.
Right, exactly. I wonder, and, you know, if the city manager ever has any spare time, which I know is none, it'd be nice to know over all these years of doing this, how much money that has actually contributed to the city.
Yes.
Um,
Yeah, and like Rocky had said, this is, we wanna use this for good things, we wanna use this for cool things, like Christmas tree.
Well, it's a
Oh.
green tree.
No, the pine tree,
Pine tree.
the pine tree, sorry, the pine tree, which there is a plaque if no one has seen it.
Right.
There is a plaque under the pine tree, for, basically,
important
thank
to
you,
honor the
thank you
people
for,
who
to
do it.
honor this.
Mrs. Gerstenberg, I seen you use your calculator, do you have a?
Thank you, Mayor Gillis. Councilman Bembas, so since I have been here, it's been about 24,000 every single year. So if you multiply 24,000 by 31, that's 744,000.
Yeah.
Over the past 31
Quarters
years.
of $1 million.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah, that's
it's
just
wonderful.
I do have a question, Mayor Gillis.
Yes.
Do we keep a list of what the money is spent on? I mean, other than like a rundown of, you know, where we've utilized that?
Mrs. Gerstenberg, have we?
Thank you, Mayor Gillis. Councilwoman Meldrum, it was this council only recently that decided to start using it for special projects around the city that benefited the quality of life of our residents. So there's only been a couple of things. It's been what, maybe the past 3 years?
3 or 4
It hasn't been that many years. Otherwise, we used to go into the general fund.
But if somebody on council has an idea what that could go to, that would benefit the city.
Which is, yeah, that's what we
Yeah.
try to do, and maybe at some point, you know, towards the end of the year or whatever, when this comes up, put in a list of the things within the city that we used it for, you know, and we want to thank for us to be able to do this.
The memorial, or the garden next to the community museum is actually partially named for him. It's the Jackson Kane Memorial Garden. And he was Milford Jackson, the other person was,
Mr. King,
Mr. Kane.
the watchmaker,
Okay,
lived on Stone Road.
Thank you, past Mayor Stoneburner. Hi, I'm like, is there somebody from the historical society in the room? All right,
I resemble that remark.
oh, I'm sorry.
No, I said I resemble that.
Yeah,
I'm old.
interesting.
All right, anybody else? Can I have a roll call, please?
Mayor Gillis.
Yes.
Councilwoman Harris.
Yes.
Councilwoman Meldrum.
Yes.
Councilman Scarback.
Yes.
Councilman Bembas.
Yes.
Councilman Carter.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Davey.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Next, we're gonna move on to approve the purchase of a UTV skid unit. On February 4th, 2025, City Council approved a purchase of a utility vehicle with a plow in the amount of $37,082. $42,000 was budgeted in the current fiscal year for this purchase. To outfit the utility vehicle with the appropriate equipment, the fire department had applied for and was awarded grant funding through the Michigan Department of Natural Resources Volunteer Capacity Program for a chainsaw, leaf blower, and skid unit. The city was awarded $3,700 and required to match $3,700 for a total project cost of $7,400. Quotes were received for a Firelight Pacer FB-201 skid unit. We have 3 quotes, the lowest being $5,650, so purchasing from Kim Tech Corporation is recommended. The cost would be $2,825 city, $2,825 grant. Can I have a motion, please?
I'll make a motion to approve purchase of UTV skid unit from Kim Tech Corp. In the amount of $5,650.
Support.
Comments, questions, concerns?
Looks cool.
And just, I had to, because we have a picture of what a skid unit is. A skid unit is a water firefighting device that can be put in with a skid. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Chief Don, it looks like, so they can put it in on the back of the UTV and take it out. Because during special events, the UTV is gonna be used as like a medical transfer, correct?
Correct.
Thank you, sir. Anybody else? Can I have a roll call, please?
Councilwoman Harris.
Yes.
Councilwoman Meldrum.
Yes.
Councilman Scarback.
Yes.
Councilman Bembas.
Yes.
Councilman Carter.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Davey.
Yes.
Mayor Gillis.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Item 11F is to approve a special events permit from Jacobs Farm and Home to hold Riverside Market at Riverfront Park. Riverside Market will be a farmer's market held on Fridays from 3 to 7:30 p.m. in Riverfront Park from May 9th through October 24th. The market was previously held in Smithfield Recreation Park. The market also will be open at 1 p.m. on August 8th for the Blue Water Antique Yard Sale Trail. Vendor vehicles will park in the east lane against the curb during the event. Michelle Benaghi will run the market, which will include farmer and small businesses. Vendors will pay $10 per week per booth. The market will not be held when major events are scheduled at the park. The permit application and all required documentations have been received and approved by the administration. The safety and security plan has been approved by the St. Clair County Sheriff. Can I have a motion, please?
I'll make a motion to approve special event permit request from Jacob's Ladder Farm and Home to hold Riverside Market at Riverfront Park on Fridays, beginning May 9th through October 24th, from 3 to 7:30 p.m.
Second.
Comments, questions, concerns?
Thank you, Michelle.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you, Michelle. Thank you for coming this evening. Michelle is here if council has any questions for her.
Michelle.
Hi, Michelle.
Hearing none, could I have a roll call, please?
Councilwoman Meldrum.
Yes.
Councilman Scarback.
Yes.
Councilman Bembas.
Yes.
Councilman Carter.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Davey.
Yes.
Mayor Gillis.
Yes.
Councilwoman Harris.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Item 11G is to approve the lease of wastewater treatment plant capacity rights, allocated capacity rights. The South Water Municipal Utility Authority entered into an interlocal agreement consisting of Algonac, Ira, and Clay Township in 2023, effective January 1st, 2024, to own and operate the sewage plant. Capacity rights at the wastewater treatment plant are as follows. The City of Algonac, 30%, Ira Township, 35%, and Clay Township, 30%. Of the plant, daily capacity of 2.7 MGD. Unfortunately, the City of Algonac has neglected collection systems. Large amount of water is infiltrating the sanitary sewer system that required capacity in excess of 30% to operate effectively. Algonac has started to make improvements to the system, and it has gone from being 22% over capacity in 2020 to 10% over in 2021 to now only 5% over for 2 quarters in 2023 and 2024. Although Algonac is making progress, Algonac is susceptible to significant financial penalties for exceeding capacity per the interlocal agreement. Ira Township has additional capacity and is willing to lease 6% of that capacity to the city of Algonac for $18,000 per year. $18,000 is the same amount Ira pays yearly in capital costs to the South Water Municipal Utility Authority for that 6% of capacity. The agreement and the amount may be evaluated annually. We have a lease agreement for council review. The lease was drafted by the Ira Township Attorney and reviewed by the Algonac City Attorney. The lease is approved by the Ira Township Board. Can I have a motion, please?
I'll make a motion to approve lease of wastewater treatment plant allocated capacity rights and direct the city manager and city clerk to sign the agreement on behalf of the city.
Support.
Comments, questions, concerns?
Mr. Mayor.
Yes.
Yay, this is a very good thing. And the thing I wanna point out, when we were discussing the, interlocal agreements, and there were some who had said that, well, we're really not going to police ourselves, that they're gonna let this person get away with this person. This shows that everyone is doing in that contract what they were supposed to be doing. We could face significant fines by Ira, if we were not able to work this with Ira. This is a big deal. It isn't that, we're just blowing, the things off that we need to do. As the mayor stated, the capacity amounts have come down significantly. But in order to do our part, according to the interlocal agreement, this is an opportunity for us to do what we need to do and not have to worry about the money that it's gonna cost us for going over capacity. To be able to do this, to get this done with Ira, is an awesome thing. And that's all I gotta say about that.
Well, I just, is stated, the money is the same money we pay for using that percentage either way, so I believe it's a great deal for us, and, we do have the oldest system out of all of us, so that's why we have made so many improvements, because our sewer system is the oldest. So, with nothing else, can I have a roll call, please?
Councilman Scarback,
Yes.
Councilman Bempis,
Yes.
Councilman Carter,
Yes,
Mayor Pro Tem Davey,
Yes.
Mayor Gillis,
Yes.
Councilwoman Harris,
Yes.
Councilwoman Meldrum.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Next up, we have accounts payable.
I'd like to make a motion to approve accounts payable and payroll in the amount of $52.47.
Support.
Comments, questions, concerns? Hearing none, could I have a roll call, please?
Councilman Bempis,
Yes.
Councilman Carter,
Yes,
Mayor Pro Tem Davey,
Yes.
Mayor Gillis,
Yes.
Councilwoman Harris,
Yes.
Councilwoman Meldrum,
Yes.
Councilman Scarback.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Items for next agenda, Mrs. Gerstenberg.
Thank you, Mayor Gillis. We will have a special event permit for Music in the Park. We will have an extension for the DWAM grant, the engineering design proposal for the Lions Park pathway. And Sheriff Matt King will be here for his annual presentation, and the Algonac Asset Award for Teacher of the Year, Mackenzie McDonald.
Thank you. Council comments, Councilman Nevis.
Thank you, Mayor. Only thing I got going on is tomorrow at First Lutheran Church, 5 to 6:30 is, they're having a chili buffet. There's gonna be 6 to 7 chilies. Snoopy said they're gonna bring a chili, Dairy Queen's bringing a chili. My best friend Diane is bringing a chili. I'm making, a Polish chili, which most people call dill pickle soup. If you're Polish, you know what that is. And a couple people from the Lions, Deborah Jo Green, Suzette Stone are making chilies, and there's also gonna be hot dogs and cornbread and sour cream for your chili, and even shredded cheese, so we're going all out.
I was just gonna say, wow.
Yeah,
You guys are hitting it.
We even found some money for shredded cheese. So hopefully we see everybody there, it's a good time. to me, it's a day that I don't have to cook, and that's good enough for me to go there. So, there's always good people there to talk to, and just hang out. So I hope to see some people there.
Thank you. Councilman Cardon?
Sure has been cold out, but it's exciting to look at some of the things coming up in the community and think about summer, the planning for concert in the park, the Lions Field paths, the pool, community center gym, and Riverside Market. That's always a blast on Friday nights. So, everybody take care of your neighbors, keep an eye out. If you see somebody you think is home, but there's too many shoveling or anything done, maybe check on them, and let's dream of summer.
I go for spring at this point.
You too.
Mayor Pro Tem Davey?
I don't have much, but huge shout out to Water Department and the DPW. It's been cold, we have not had, I'm not gonna say it because everybody's gonna start banging on desks again, but, they do an awesome job, and kudos to them. I will say show the love, there's still time to get tickets, if you want a ticket, get in touch with me, cause I got a few of them laying around. We're gonna have some fun, we've got a huge amount of people coming this year, we get to open up the other side of the hall, it's gonna be fun, we're gonna have a good time.
And what day is that?
Thursday, it's
Thursday.
Thursday, you know, really? Thursday,
Just helping
it
out.
starts at, thank you, at 5:30 at Alexander's in Marysville. It is a blast, and we seem to be getting more and more people every year. This is our third, and every year we get more people, more of a mix of people. We have, Joe Pavlov's gonna be there, Senator Hertel is gonna be there. We're gonna have some fun. Artie Bryson's gonna do an auction. That in itself is worth the price of a ticket, just saying. And that's all I got.
All right, is that all you have?
Why are you busting my chops?
Well, here's my deal for you. If you do one more thing, you have to donate $20.
But I didn't even do one.
Every time you do one more
thing.
thing, you have to donate $20 to the art on Thursday.
Oh my God.
I make a motion to put a jar there.
Wow, wow, okay.
Love you, Mayor Pro Tem Davey.
Yeah, I know, but geez,
We'll
guys,
use the money to fix the sewer
you
system.
are talking enough, thank you. Wow.
I was just trying to raise more money for you.
Yeah, okay,
I was.
okay.
I'm a good hearted
Yeah, but you're getting a free seat, so you should be spending some money anyway, so.
I will be.
All right then. We're done now.
We're done. Councilwoman Harris.
I just wanna thank everybody for coming and try to stay warm, so you'll end up with this, but thank you very much, everybody. That's it. One more thing, Don?
I am, but I'll
Yeah,
wait till
there
you,
you go.
but I'll wait till you
That's
guys are done.
$40.
No, this is, you know what? This is something I can't believe I forgot. I'm sorry, go ahead, Kathy, I'll
I'm
wait.
done.
Till we're
You're gonna
done.
jump in now?
Yeah,
Go
okay.
ahead.
I can't believe I forgot, Karen Cole, who was a former mayor in the city of Algonac,
First woman.
passed away, first woman. And for me, a mentor, and she served on St. Clair County Mental Health Board of Directors for 20 years. And for me, I can only hope that I can do that much of what Karen Cole was able to do for both communities, for the city of Algonac and for, the people that Community Mental Health reaches out to. Absolute wonderful woman, just short of 100 years old.
99 years old.
Yeah, and so that was what my one more thing was, so
Okay, I'm
write
not
it
gonna
down.
charge you for that one.
You think?
I feel bad.
And that's all.
Councilwoman Meldrum.
Just thank everyone for coming out tonight on a cold night. Really do, appreciate your support. Thank you.
Councilman Scarbeck.
Well, first, do you have anything else?
Oh, do
You know, really, guys?
Your turn, Jake.
I wanna thank you all for coming out tonight. I'm excited that you're moving the Riverfront Park over that side. I think it's gonna definitely help your business, help everyone's business, and get more people there. I also wanna talk about chickens again, and, I think I would like us to look into chickens, and if it's okay with you guys, I'd like to make a motion to have our city manager Denise start the process at looking at other communities, their ordinances, and seeing if it's something that you would be interested at bringing up.
Okay, support.
As a matter of,
Yeah.
Lisa, as a matter of, is this allowed at this point in the meeting?
Make a motion to.
Yes. Okay, so we have a motion, support, any discussion? All in favor of having her at least propose, look into it?
Yeah, just look
Saying aye.
into it for ordinances and see if it's something that we would.
I'd like to, if we're gonna go down that route, it's gotta be very detailed. I wanna know the pros and cons, I wanna know how it affects property values. I wanna know before and after in the communities who did it and how it affects it. I wanna know, how it affects the reputation of the city for future home builders and buyers. Things like that. It might seem like a feel-good story, but we've gotta make sure that it benefits everybody and how it affects, not just benefits, but affects, it can have negative benefits also, the communities where it's been done at.
Any other discussion?
I agree with, Councilman Bembas on that, I think we really gotta look into it. I know that on the email, City Manager Genselberg did share some good points and bad points, so hopefully we'll be able to come to the table and kinda talk about the pros and cons.
Right, I agree.
And the only thing I'd wanna add to that is, I just read an article, there's actually a state, a bill getting introduced in the State House that will not allow us to, prohibit chickens.
Oh,
So,
That'd be very interesting.
it's very interesting, it's a farmer turned state rep that put this bill forth, I just saw it yesterday, the day before.
okay then.
So, all in favor of the city manager proposing an ordinance, investigating an ordinance? Investigating ordinance?
Yep.
Signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right,
Well, thank you guys, and that's all I have.
that's all you have?
Yep.
So then I guess it's back to me?
So now I'm all confused of where we are now, but.
We're back, I guess we're back to me.
We're back to you.
All right, I got contacted by the district manager of Kroger, because their store manager built a blessing box over at Riverside Gypsy. So they asked me to come there and give her, just to give her a thank you. So I did that last Friday. It was really nice, but in return, Kroger donated $3,000 to fill the boxes of our community. So that was really nice of Kroger.
Wow, that's very cool.
Yes, so that was a great thing. I went to the Historical Society pop-up shop on February 8th. It was very busy that day. And if you guys ever get a chance, they have some really nice Algonac clothes. So if you guys ever get a chance to get there, because the stuff is just, I got a couple nice hoodies and really inexpensive.
Didn't get one for me.
I did, I left it at home. We have the State of the Community Address presented by the Anchor Bay Chamber of Commerce on March 6th at, I think 11:30, is that correct? I wanna talk, I know Mrs. Tesh keeps bringing up Brownfield. The Brownfield program was not invented by anybody locally, it's been around since, was it the 60s, Mrs. Gerstenberg? And this is a program to spur development. And these programs that were offered came from the state to the county to us. And we always hear, why don't we offer incentives to people to build or anything in this town? That Brownfield program, the tax revenue that was captured after the increment, which the increment is the money that we collect now, would go to pay, she keeps saying to pay the contractor. It goes to the Brownfield Authority to reimburse the contractor for these streets, the water mains, the sewers, the infrastructure, to lower the prices of the homes, so we can get younger families into those homes at $30,000 to $40,000 less. So what that means is the city's gonna take the same amount of taxes we're getting now, plus we get, and then we would get 2,000 per house for tap-in fees, so there'd be $150,000 in tap-in fees. I keep hearing how we're taking money from the schools. Well, yes, some of the millage money does go, but that was the way the program was designed not by us, designed by the state of Michigan, and presented to us by the county brownfield board. So this wasn't some conspiracy that the Algonac City Council cooked up to get development. This is a government program that Governor Whitmer changed to offer it to affordable housing due to our affordable housing crisis in this area. So we as a council looked at the benefits and we decided that there was something we'd like to explore. It is stopped at the county level right now. I don't believe there's a path forward at the county level that I'm aware of. To insinuate that we don't care about schools because we passed this brownfield. Well, if every one of those houses had a kid, at 53 houses, it's $530,000 a year to our school system. So it would be good for our schools, in my opinion. And again, I know that this is stopped at the county, but we made the best decision for our residents that we thought at the time. If we had 53 brand new homes being built, our restaurants would be filled with people building those homes. People talk about how do we bring new businesses to Algonac? You gotta have people. More people will bring businesses. Michelle's Farmer Market would have more people if we had 150 more residents. So I understand that you can question, that you don't like the fact that the Brownfield Authority would be collecting the increment on the taxes until the roads and streets. And the 24, everyone keeps talking about 24 years. The 24 years is what the Brownfield Authority came up with, I believe. And if the houses are sold faster, the money's paid back faster. It goes by how fast the increment pays off the infrastructure. If you were to build a house on Michigan Street on an empty lot, do you pay for the infrastructure does the person building the house pay for the sewer, road, or anything when it's being done? No, because it's already there. The only thing the city is deferring the taxes on is the things we're gonna own in the end. So I just had to get that off my chest because I feel like we've been attacked for trying to think and act differently. Algonac, as we know, has had a status quo for a while, and we have all been trying to be different. So this is just one more tool that the government gave us in our toolbox, and we accepted. And right now it's stopped at the county, and there's nothing we can do about it, and that's okay. But this council, it can't change where it's at.
And I wanna add that Mrs. Hesh had, when she was mayor, they had come here and did at least one, possibly two, presentations on brownfields. So she's aware of how this works, and like they had tried to work with the city at some point to work and look at brownfields developments. She had invited them here, so this shouldn't be new to Mrs. Hesh. That's all I can say about that.
And I think you said it very well, Mr. Mayor, very well. Just if you don't mind me adding a couple words. The city doesn't pay anybody or lose any money on it. We're not making any money on it now. So by deferring it so that we can pay for new roads and new sewers is only an investment. The schools are not gonna lose any money. In the long run, they make money. And I'll get a little political here, and I'm not sure it's proper. If it's not, you correct me. We have a Republican majority at the county, and I always thought that Republicans were for growth, and they were for building things, and they were for individual rights and individual freedoms, and yet the same county commissioners don't want somebody who owns property to be able to use the property in the way they want. It's hypocritical, and it's, in my unhumble opinion, it's unacceptable.
I I don't disagree with you, because it's not our county commissioner that's holding.
No, I know it's not our county
It's
commissioners on
county
board.
commissioners,
because-
it's
yes,
county commissioners that probably
that have
never even.
nothing to do with it. It affects them not at all. They have no skin in that game. And some people are doing it for political reasons, and then there are others who just wanna go against the grain because it makes them feel important when they go against the grain, rather than playing, ball with everybody else to go ahead. And it can be an ego boost for people sometimes.
But I want everybody to understand, because if everyone has said, this isn't something that's going to be up to the county commission anytime soon. Not that we are aware of, from what we understand, this is kind of a non-issue right now, from what we understand. So why this keeps coming up by Mrs. Tesh, I don't understand, unless she knows something from a member of the county commission, which I don't know how that would happen. This is, it's a dead issue. I don't know why this keeps coming up.
And
I wanna make that really clear.
one more thing on that subject, and then I'm gonna move on, is the villainization of a businessman, a local businessman that employs many, many local individuals. Oh, but before I say this, I just read an article in Blue Water Healthy Living. I don't know if everybody knows, Mrs. Tesh works for that. State and local leaders showcase brownfield redevelopments to power to revitalize communities and boost economies. Blue Water Healthy Living. Just wanted to say that that's the tool that was being used. But I want to go back to the vilification of a local company that was born and raised and built in this town. That company now services the whole 3/4 of the state of Michigan and road constructions and things like that. And they're building houses in St. Clair, and this is a local company. Dan Cordes, that's the reason Danny's Party Store is called Danny's Party Store. He originally owned Danny's Party Store, and then when they built the subdivision, the Sassy subdivision, he formed Cordes Brothers by hauling dirt out of there. So this is I'm not saying that we would prefer over local, but this is a local guy a local family who's did well, and taken advantage of a program, not using a program that the government has provided, and he gets vilified for it, when all of his people that work for him are locals. I mean, I'm sorry, it's just, I'm very passionate that our intentions are being misinterpreted. And then on the loss of Karen Cole. Winnick's first mayor, female mayor, 1976. The woman was a trailblazer, very intelligent. I sat on our porch with her many times and would talk to her. In fact, my favorite story is, we talked about Denise getting rid of the ugly fences. When Denise got rid of the ugly fence at Lionsfield, I sat on her porch and she said, "Rocky, that's just the most beautiful view." So Mrs. Cole appreciated that. May we always remember what she did for our city.
Yes.
And with that, can I get a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
This is her job.
I'll make a
I'm
motion to
sorry.
adjourn at, 6:47.
Support.
Comments, questions, concerns? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
We're adjourned.
I just